Happening now, a missing Cattaraugus County man is found dead. Plus, Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell is offering his concerns about Governor Cuomo's threat to fine local governments for what he sees as a lax of COVID enforcement.
And the sun is out for today, and we're going to keep a little bit of sunny weather going through the middle of the week, then a big warm-up by the weekend. I've got the details next. WNY News Now at noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now as we start off a brand new week. I'm Justin Gould. Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell tells us that there's more than meets the eye to Governor Andrew Cuomo's threat to fine local governments. Last week, Cuomo said local governments could face up to $10,000 per day in fines for lax enforcement of the state's COVID regulations and recommendations. One issue is who gets fined. Wendell asks whether Cuomo will fine by county, or by town, or by zip code. He went on to say the issue is not as black and white as the governor apparently thinks. Locally, Wendell says enforcement has not been an issue and that the county receives complaints about non-compliant businesses on a daily basis and immediately contacts local police who investigate the issue.
People, I'm sure, could find fault with what's going on, so we need to do more, but, right now our evidence has been proven that, we have flattened the curve, we have controlled this based on our efforts, and, we're going to continue to do that. But, we don't know exactly, we haven't heard exactly where the governor's coming from with this.
Now, Wendell noted there are only about 700 COVID-19 cases with a county population of approximately 127,000 people or so. And he explains it matters whether the governor is looking at the positive cases per test or the overall positive cases per population. Well, the search for a missing 20-year-old Cattaraugus County man ended yesterday after first responders discovered him deceased in a pond. The Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office says Joseph Rushwin was first reported missing from the Bars Road area near Little Valley around 6 o'clock on Saturday. The Sheriff's Office says New York State Police and several local departments assisted them in an extensive search for the man. First responders used several search tools, including drones and flare imaging, in their efforts to find him. Rushwin's go-kart was discovered on Sunday in a pond in the town of Mansfield, where a state police dive team later recovered his body. Well, President Trump spent much of the weekend working out of Walter Reed while receiving an aggressive course of treatment for COVID-19. But the administration is under fire for a lack of transparency and focus on the optics after the president took a surprise ride past supporters outside of that hospital yesterday. Daryl Forges is outside of Walter Reed in Bethesda, Maryland, with the latest on the president's condition.
President Donald Trump's doctor painting a rosy picture Sunday.
The fact of the matter is that he's doing really well.
An image the administration sought to underscore with photos of the president at work in his offices at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center.
I'm about to make a little surprise visit.
And in person, as the president took a surprise motorcade to wave at supporters gathered outside the hospital.
And he wanted to, as a sign of gratitude, show folks that he's still fighting for them.
The president says he's learned a lot about the virus that has killed nearly 210,000 Americans.
It's been a very interesting journey. I learned a lot about COVID. I learned it by really going to school. This is the real school. This isn't the let's read the book school. And I get it.
But some medical experts are expressing concern over whether the president is taking his condition seriously.
The only reason why someone with COVID-19, severe COVID-19, causing hypoxia on multiple IV drugs, should ever be leaving the hospital would be in an ambulance to be transferred to a higher level of care.
Critics are blasting the administration for a lack of transparency over the president's illness and asking if he put others at risk.
Did he knowingly go off to meet with supporters, knowing that he might be infectious because he'd been in contact with others who had been? I think there are so many unanswered questions.
Yet, despite those unanswered questions and mixed messages from the medical briefings, the president's physicians say he could be discharged as early as today. At Walter Reed Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, I'm Daryl Forges.
Daryl, thank you. Attorney General William Barr is now going into self-quarantine after all, at least for now. The Department of Justice says that he's tested negative for COVID 4 times and is likely to return to work later this week. Now, Barr originally declined to self-quarantine. That's even though he came into close contact with former White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway last weekend in the Rose Garden. Conway has since tested positive for COVID-19. And just in this hour, the White House's press secretary testing positive for COVID-19 as well. Well, back here at home, the Seneca Nation's last surviving World War II veteran has been honored with his inclusion in New York State Senate Veterans Hall of Fame. 98-year-old Ralph Elliott Bowen, who served as an aerial gunner in the war, was honored by State Senator George Borrello in a ceremony on Friday. Bowen was a gunner on a B-52 Liberator heavy bomber in the European theater and flew bombing missions over France, Austria, Germany, the Balkans, and Greece. The Seneca Nation's president, Ricky Armstrong, says Bowen has been a service to the community throughout his life, serving as a 5-term member of the Tribal Council, as a marshal, and as a judge and pastor of the Red House Baptist Church. Certainly we thank that man for his service, and it's great to see him inducted into that campaign by State Senator George Borrello and the many other dignitaries who were present during that ceremony Friday. It's certainly amazing to see the images of him reunited with the bomber there. Happy Monday to all of you. Thanks so much for joining us for WNY News Now as we kick off a brand new week. Good to see Sherry, Brooke, Amanda. Happy Monday to you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Good to see Wendy, Lisa, David, Joseph, Laura, and Pam as well. Hopefully everyone is having a great day out there. Let's shift gears now and get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is standing by with that. Good Monday to you, Mr. Hunter.
Good Monday, Justin, and good Monday to all of you. First official full week of October, and boy, it's looking like October out here. This is a live look coming from the Warren City Bank, and how about that fall foliage? Have you got out and seen the leaves? Yeah, a lot of them are starting to fall off the trees now, but the ones that are still up, the colors are changing now, and we're actually nearing the peak for the fall foliage around here a little bit earlier than where we should be. We shouldn't reach a peak until around mid-October around here. 56 current temperature in Warren right now with a light west wind averaging about 5 or so miles per hour. First Doppler radar, nice and dry, nothing going on today. We could look at that sweet beam all day long and it will show the same thing. Absolutely nothing. 53 here in town right now is a noon hour, 50 Mayville, 55 Fredonia, 52 Harbor Creek, Randolph and Cat County, you're checking in at 57, and Delavan way up there in the northeastern part of Cat degrees as of this hour. So it's still a little bit chilly out there, and the chilly air is going to continue for the next couple of days, but then we're going to see a little bit of a rebound. 58 was the high yesterday. We should be near 64 this time of the year. The average highs and lows are starting to get lower and lower and lower, so you know what that means. 88 was the record high for this date set back in 1951 at the Jamestown airport. So through the afternoon today, spotty, there will be a spotty shower early this afternoon. Otherwise, just partial sunshine. That's a tongue twister. Still chilly, overall uneventful. 52 Hills, 58 at the immediate Lake Erie shoreline with a northwest wind. Now, we stay a little bit chilly over the next few days, and a big warm-up comes our way by the weekend. How warm? I've got the details in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota. Hey, if you're telling me summer's coming back, you will make me a very happy man.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. All right. Thank you. We'll keep our eyes on it. Thank you. Well, someone who recently visited Matt's News in Dunkirk could become a $27,000 richer. The New York Lottery says a top prize winning Take 5 ticket was sold at the Chautauqua County store. Another ticket valued at the same amount was also sold in the Bronx. Now, the winning numbers for the October 4th drawing are 2, 7, 14, 18, and 25. Drawings take place every night at 11:12, and the winning ticket may be cashed within 1 year of drawing. Well, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling on Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to delay Judicial Committee hearings on the Supreme Court nominee Judge Amy Coney Barrett. That's after 3 senators tested positive for COVID-19. McConnell says it's not safe for the Senate to meet, while the majority leader says that he wants to push back the chamber floor activity within 2 weeks. He does want to continue with the process to get Barrett into the Supreme Court.
Even though he has said it's not safe for the Senate to meet in session, but it's okay to have the hearings. And the idea of having virtual hearings where no one is with the witness for the highest court in the land, for a life appointment that would have such effect on people's lives, makes no sense.
Now, Schumer also said he's asked McConnell for every senator and staffer to get tested for the virus, but that his request has since gone unanswered. Well, coming up next, we speak to Chautauqua County's district attorney as he prepares to negotiate his budget for this coming year. Plus, why a computer glitch caused some problems for those trying to register to vote online. That and more as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Hi, I'm George Borrello, and I'm proud to serve as your senator for New York's 57th Senate District. In fact, in my first year, I've passed many pieces of legislation as well as helping people and businesses in these challenging times. From fighting for a safe, common-sense reopening of our state's economy during the COVID-19 pandemic to continuing the push for the repeal of the state's flawed criminal justice changes, which have made us all less safe, I am working hard for you every day as your state senator. Your vote will help me continue my mission to boost New York's economy struggling from the COVID shutdown and for small businesses not just to survive, but thrive. I will also continue to hold the government accountable by reviewing policies that led to the tragic nursing home deaths statewide. I'm proud to represent our beautifully diverse region, and I will be honored to have your vote on Tuesday, November 3rd, so that I can continue my work fighting for you. It's not about rhetoric, it's about results.
Paid for by Borrello for Senate. EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
For the past 9 years, I've been a prosecutor right here in Chautauqua County, fighting to keep this community safe. My family lives here with me in Fredonia, and I grew up in Sherman, New York. Fighting to make sure that these communities stay safe is so very important to me. We have the highest caseload of any county in this state, and as your district attorney, I'm dedicated to making sure that each case gets handled the right way for not only the victims, but for the people that live in this county. I'm fully invested in this community, and I'm fully invested in this community's future. Vote Patrick Swanson for Chautauqua County District Attorney.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
And welcome back. A weekend computer glitch has been resolved, but caused some issues with those in Pennsylvania trying to register to vote online. Officials say several agencies were impacted when there was an equipment failure at a data center for the Commonwealth. Now, most agency online services have been restored, and voters can now again go online to register, apply for a mail-in ballot, or confirm their voter registration. Officials stress that there have been no signs of cyber activity or cyber attacks, and that no data has been lost or compromised. Well, with Election Day less than 1 month away now, there are remaining concerns about voting this year. As John Lawrence reports, many are worried about actions being taken to prevent some people from participating in the process.
With Election Day nearing, there are fears that some voters are facing obstacles.
We need to show everybody who's watching that we're going to participate because it's about democracy.
That includes Texas, where the governor announced ballot drop-off sites will be limited to 1 per county. This move significantly affects Harris County, the most populous county in Texas with a population of 4.7 million residents, more than the populations in 26 states.
There is no reason for this decision to limit us to 1 drop-off location other than voter suppression.
Similar concerns about voter intimidation in Massachusetts.
We're not going to let Donald Trump undermine our election. It's a crime.
The Trump administration is calling on supporters to patrol polling places on Election Day.
Go into the polls and watch very carefully.
We need every able-bodied man, woman to join Army for Trump's election security operation.
Those comments prompting 11 Democratic governors to issue a statement condemning the president's message, saying there is absolutely no excuse for promoting the intimidation or harassment of voters.
This issue of voter suppression is it's not only sad, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because democracy depends on our participation.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. 35 states are requesting or requiring voters to have some form of ID for this election, that according to the National Conference of State Legislatures. Well, back here at home, the ratio of cases per attorneys continues to be an issue for the Chautauqua County Public District Attorney's Office and for DA Patrick Swanson and his staff. In fact, Swanson tells us his office is handling 3,500 cases a year, with 12 and a half attorneys on his staff. This, says the DA, is gearing up to compose his 2021 tentative budget. The county's budget will keep the size of his staff about the same, calling on a decrease of 0.01. However, the county legislature could choose to cut Swanson's budget when it revises the proposal for a final budget and eventual vote.
Running this office in a county this size, I would call us like a tweener county. We're the 23rd most populous county in the state out of 62. We're the 7th largest county, but we have the 19th most arrests. So we're ahead of where we should be, I guess, when it comes to per capita arrests being made in cases we're getting. And that's why we have the caseload problem we have, because we have a staff for the size of a county that gets 600 felonies a year. We have 1,000.
The DA now heads into budget negotiations, knowing his status as a district attorney is uncertain beyond 2021. The Fredonia Democrat is being challenged for a second time by fellow Fredonia native and Republican Jason Schmidt. Well, Airbnb is trying to ensure no customers rent houses to throw large Halloween parties this year. The company is now banning one-night reservations over the Halloween weekend for all listings in the U.S. and Canada. Previously, book reservations meetings, that criteria will be canceled and the guests will be reimbursed, the company says. Airbnb says it made the decision to protect public health as this COVID-19 pandemic continues. They already have policies against large gatherings and disruptive parties and events, so their website says. Guests who violate that policy could have their accounts removed and possibly even face legal action. Hosts who knowingly allow guests to throw parties could also have their listings removed. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now on this brand new week. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Marcia. Good to see you. Good to see Dina, Sandy, Lori, Bill, Sam, and Timothy as well. Hopefully everyone is having a good day out there. Let's now get a check of our full First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is standing by with that in the First Defense Weather Center. And Dakota, this morning I woke up and just like it was pretty much throughout much of the weekend, it's a pretty chilly start.
Yeah, and it was a chilly start, and the temperatures have been rather chilly, especially over the weekend. I mean, it was a heat-on kind of weekend, and we're going to have at least a little bit more of that to go through. Let's go in there and take a look at it, and let's take a look at the rainfall. First of all, let's talk about where we were for rainfall over the past couple of days. So since Saturday, over the weekend, we've only gauged about 1/10 of an inch of rain. And since we started the month, we've only had about 2/10 of an inch of rain. But this is all beneficial rain. We need the rain. Again, you know, the ground soil is relatively dry, so all the rain, the better, but we don't need a whole lot of rain at once because we don't want a flooding situation here either. That's not good either. 53 current temperature as a noon hour at the airport with a west wind of 7, and the wind chill is to 51 degrees when you combine the wind and the air temperature together. Now, speaking about the radar, something interesting is going to be happening this week. The main radar for Western New York, which is this thing right here. This is, I mean, isn't this great? Our graphics department is great for coming up with this, but this is what the radar looks like. And the radar is going to be going offline starting this Thursday for some well-needed upgrades. Now, these radars, there's about 160 of them across the country. It's called the NextRad Radar Network, and they're ran by the National Weather Service. And these radars are getting close to 30 years old, and they need a little bit of help to keep them running. So this is the next phase of what they call the Service Life Extension Project, which is meant to make these radars last about another 10 to 20 years. And starting on Thursday, they're going to be putting in a whole new generator. So the radar is going to be down for about a week. So, you know, if you use the data coming from the Weather Service in Buffalo, obviously just make sure you use surrounding radars. And these radars are, and this project is meant to keep these radars working up until the 2030s. So that's interesting. Little thing to note, there's going to be a radar outage for about a week, but it's scheduled maintenance. So the next couple of days, today and tomorrow, is going to be dry, but our next storm system is going to be on Wednesday, a low pressure area passing to our northwest. And as I often tell you, a deep area of low pressure passing to our northwest is prime to get some gusty winds. So there will be a chance, especially Wednesday afternoon, the wind gusts could reach 40, 45 miles per hour. I think we'll stay below advisory criteria, but just be aware Wednesday afternoon is going to be breezy with an influx of moisture coming in from the storm system. So I think more scattered showers, I think scattered showers will be returning on Wednesday, but the wind also picks up as well out of the southwest and the west as the storm system moves across the Great Lakes and then goes up into Canada. So just be aware of that, especially in the afternoon on Wednesday. Could get a little windy around here. We have a new tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico, Tropical Storm Delta. We are in the Greek alphabet now, 45 mile per hour winds. Now our main concern on this is going to come up into the Gulf of Mexico and then curve up into the Gulf states. And this is actually projected to become a hurricane once it comes into the Gulf of Mexico. You can see here at least a Category 2 hurricane before it makes landfall. At this point, somewhere near Mississippi and New Orleans. Now, where this goes beyond that, we don't know, but this is something we're going to keep an eye on. So again, the hurricane season is continuing to churn on here. And what's interesting is we're now in the Greek alphabet. We have Gamma currently active and Delta. The furthest we've ever gone is Zeta, which was back in 2005. There is a chance we could go much further than this, so there's no doubt this season is going to be a one for the record books type of hurricane season. So zone forecast, inland areas today, this is where we're topping out. At least mid to upper 50s today. Still a little bit chilly to where we should be, but at least sun and clouds will mix throughout the day. Now presented by 42 degrees and sunny. Next 7 days of your life right there. 68 tomorrow. Now 64 degrees on Wednesday. And again, it also becomes windy in the afternoon with that storm system passing to our north and west. Just a few leftover showers on Thursday. Look at the warm up as we head into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We put 72 in there for Saturday. It's going to be feeling like a heat wave as we go into the weekend, and we'll stay relatively mild with lots of sunshine here on Sunday with temperatures nearing 70. Justin?
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Not tomorrow, but right now on the WNY News Now mobile app. Follow local news as it happens.
The mother of a special education student at Maple Grove High School is speaking out.
And stay informed with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network.
And Lake Erie is covered in less than 1% of ice as this winter season has entered its peak.
Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Well, Twitter is banning tweets that express a desire for President Trump to die because of COVID-19, and it says it doesn't tolerate such comments about anyone, but some Democratic congresswomen say that's not true. A tweet from a Twitter spokesperson says users can't post messages hoping for death or serious harm to another person. Well, 4 congresswomen, nicknamed the Squad, say they've seen plenty of tweets that threaten them or call for their death. They now want to know why Twitter didn't ban those comments. The members of the group are representatives in various states, and they're taking to Twitter this weekend to ask the company why they are not considering this a double standard. Well, you don't have to be a NASA scientist to help discover new planets, because NASA has launched a new website to help everyone find new planets in our solar system. It's called Planet Patrol, where members of the public can collaborate with astronomers to hunt down new worlds. They'll be sorting through images collected by NASA's satellites. Now, over the years, various satellites have captured hundreds of thousands of snapshots, but it's too many for scientists to examine themselves. And computers sometimes fail to determine potential planets from imposters. That's where the volunteers come in. They will answer questionnaires as they sift through the images to help researchers narrow down the list of potential planets. It's pretty cool. Well, you won't be flying to Germany for Oktoberfest this year. It's because it's been canceled due to the pandemic. But Snyder's of Hanover and Captain Lawrence Brewing Company here in New York have teamed up to help us celebrate where we are. Meet the Pretzel Keg. It keeps your beer and your pretzels, 2 staples of Oktoberfest, close at hand in one package. Now, it's a 5-liter keg of Oktoberfest lager and a 20-ounce canister of baked pretzel rods. It goes on sale this Wednesday for $50. You can get it at snydersofhanover.com or in person at the brewery's location in Tarpum, New York, while supplies last. Certainly absolutely delicious. And you know, Dakota, I am a huge pretzel fan out there. I just love pretzel. And we haven't had lunch yet. I think we talked about this before.
Yes. We don't eat lunch until after
until
the show.
after, right?
Yeah.
We work so hard to get to the show, and then Dakota and everyone else is eating lunch right now, but not us. In our producer Amy.
We're the 2 bookends around here.
Yeah.
But you know, speaking about that cup thing, I'll just wait until. I mean, you know, I'm not going to spend $50 on it.
You could probably make your own if you get one of those really big tubs.
I'm just, you know what,
of pretzels.
You know what? I'm going to
put a beer in the middle of it.
Well, you see, I'm going to let somebody else buy it, use it for a while, and then I'll buy it for $2.99 at the Goodwill.
Yeah, the actual, not with the pretzels and the beer in it, right? Because that would be gross. You could wash
I don't
it out.
beer, so I put my Kool-Aid in it.
There you go. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, Dakota.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Or Arnold Palmer. How's that for you?
Oh, that's delicious. Yeah, that.
I could do the pretzel rods, though. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, all day. Who doesn't like pretzels?
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments down below. I love pretzels.
Yeah.
I can eat right now.
Although I am not one of these people who likes, you know, especially if you do soft pretzels, I'm not one of these people who dips their pretzel in mustard.
Joseph asks, is Pluto a planet in regards to that? No, dwarf planet.
It's a dwarf planet.
Dakota will tell you.
Yeah, and the reason that I understand it is the reason NASA downgraded it to a dwarf planet is because it lost some of its gravitational pull. So therefore, it was no longer classified as a planet.
That's as strong as the rest of us.
That's at least the way that I understand it. So,
but you're a meteorologist.
Yes.
Different than an astronomer.
And a climatologist. Oops.
Oh, there's 3 different categories to be talked about on another day. Because we can't talk about climate with Dakota.
Weather. Final weather. Tonight, mainly clear skies tonight, so there's going to be a lot of stars in the sky, speaking of which. So go out and stargaze, but it will be chilly. 36 average low down in the valleys. Don't be shocked if a couple spots go down a little bit lower than that to 48 at the immediate Lake Erie shoreline, Justin.
All right, Dakota, thank you. That's it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We're back tomorrow live at noon. Hope to see you here, friends. We'll leave you with a live look over downtown Jamestown. Have a great day. Stay sunny.